He says he didn't know his son was under investigation. That's absurd. That he never talked to his son about his son's foreign business? Do you believe that? Don't you think I can prove that he did? You think I'm stupid?
Well, the fact that Laura Ingraham didn't answer that question tells you everything you need to know about Rudy Giuliani and how stupid people think he really is. He made a mess of yet another Fox News appearance. He was all over the place. He made all sorts of claims that are untrue. We're gonna go through the videos and we're going to debunk his claims and also probably make fun of him. Let's take a look.
Insiders saying, you mucked this up, your response.
Man, I really did. And you know who I did it at the request of? The State Department. I never talked to a Ukrainian official until the State Department called me and asked me to do it. And then I reported every conversation back to them. And Laura, I'm a pretty good lawyer, just a country lawyer, but it's all here, right here. The first call from the State Department.
Rudy, I couldn't agree with you more. But why are you the one to do this? Why isn't this the role of the Justice Department or the FBI? Why task you, the personal attorney, the president, to do that? I think that's a question that just layman was like, okay, I get it. That should be investigated. But why is Rudy running the show on that? Why isn't it FBI and the main justice?
That's a very good question. Because the FBI's performance since its entire investigation, including up to this moment, is flawed. Why am I doing it, Laura? Can't you figure it out? I'm his defense lawyer. I'm defending him. He's my client. I don't know, only Donald Trump is not entitled to a defense in America.
So Rudy Giuliani, who is not a government official, he is Donald Trump's personal lawyer, is arguing that the State Department called on him to work with Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden. Now, according to reports, when reached for comment, a State Department spokesman said, Mr. Giuliani is a private citizen and acts in a personal capacity as a lawyer for President Trump. He does not speak on behalf of the US government. Now, there's one other element to this, though. Mike Pompeo might have asked for Giuliani's involvement. Pompeo was asked about that and he refused to get into details. So
here's my first comment on that. Tick, 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 tick. So let me explain why. First of all, train wreck. We got more videos coming up for you, but you could even tell from Laura Ingraham. She keeps looking at him like, you think I'm stupid? And she's like, and you know what she did at the end of the interview? She said, I'm sorry to cut you off. You have to get your voice back. Okay, so that she's like no mas. She threw in the towel. Like I got to get this guy off the air before he does more damage. Amazing. Now the reason I say tick 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 though is when he holds up the phone and he says, I've got it recorded what the State Department said. That means there is massive internal fighting. So State Department's trying to throw Giuliani under the bus, and Giuliani does a threat on national television. Oh yeah, I'll throw you under the bus. I recorded our conversations. This is happening in public. That's unbelievable. So when you have that kind of infighting, only a matter of time before somebody goes, I've had enough. This is what actually happened. I'm saying it publicly.
So at one point on the show, Giuliani is asked to leave, right? Go take care of your voice. And then at one point, there is a panel and there's a Democrat by the name of Chris Hahn involved. And Chris Hahn gets under Giuliani's skin so much that Giuliani comes back and they begin to spar. Take a look.
I just heard the president's personal political attorney say that he was directed by the State Department to go meet with the Ukraine to get evidence on the president's political opponent. Rudy Giuliani, who hasn't practiced political criminal law since the early 80s, is now saying he has evidence, he has all this information, he's making things up. And if the Bidens weren't public figures, it would be libelous.
I'd like to say, Mr. Hahn, I should sue you for libel because you irresponsibly said.
Please.
Yeah, well, you actually usually say incredibly stupid things.
You're a public figure.
Yeah, and by the way, do you have any idea that the State Department?
So then you know the libel law.
Shut up, moron. Shut up.
Okay, hold on.
Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Chris,
you don't know what you're talking about, idiot.
I do.
The state? No, you don't. You just
Mr.
lied.
Mayor, I wish you would stop.
You lied, my friend.
I wish you would stop, Mr. Mayor.
Well, why don't you tell him to? Why don't you tell him?
I wish you would stop.
Why don't you tell him to keep his mouth shut so we can tell the truth?
All right, two things I love about that. Chris Hahn actually did a right-wing trick there. Constantly interrupt and jab, 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 and filibuster. Honestly, that's what right-wingers do on cable news 24/7. And it gets under people's skin to no end. They can't get their point out. I don't think it's necessarily the right thing to do, but it was great to see it flipped on its head and used against Giuliani. And he's like, shut up, you're moron, right? But that wasn't my favorite part. My favorite part was the guy in the middle.
Yeah, his face.
Right, and look at that. Literally wincing and like, what am I doing here? He's like, he's in the Brady Bunch, but he's not in the family. So he's like, what's going on here?
Well, we're not done yet. Things get even, they devolve further. So let's take a look at the next clip.
He said about me that I was asked by the State Department to go dig up political dirt on Trump's opponent. Totally false. The State Department asked me.
You just said it.
No, I didn't. You did, you liar. You did.
Just let him finish, then you can respond.
Turn him off so I can speak.
Let Andy respond to this.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't have any idea what you're talking about.
You just said.
I did not say the State. And you know who I did it at the request of? The State Department. I never talked to a Ukrainian official until the State Department called me and asked me to do it. And then I reported every conversation back to them.
Oops. So he absolutely did. Chris Hahn did bust him. The guy in the middle still like, oh, what am I doing here?
I mean, look, I guess credit to Chris Hahn, but super low bar. Like, Giuliani's all over the place. I mean, he contradicts himself. He's just like Trump. Maybe this is the reason why Trump likes him so much.
Definitely.
They're very similar in contradicting themselves in the same sentence.
Peas in a pod, are you kidding me? Like no other, like if you think Giuliani has mentally deteriorated, well, that's pretty obvious. I mean, you just see it all over TV. But who would hire him as their lawyer on a case that will determine how you're viewed for the rest of time? I mean, you literally cannot have a more important case, and you hired that guy as your lawyer? I mean, if Giuliani came into my office, he's like, I'm gonna call people, they're stupid. You think I'm stupid? I'd be like, no, it's okay, I'm gonna get a different attorney, right? And Trump goes, that's my boy. Nailed it, nailed it. Okay, so, but Trump will throw anyone under a bus. And if he throws Giuliani under a bus, I'm telling you, like Giuliani's unhinged too.
No, Giuliani's gonna end up in prison. I have no doubt at this point.
But Giuliani also, if State Department or Trump throws him under a bus, he's gonna come up out from under the bus like a horror movie and be like, oh yeah, this is all my evidence, right?
True, but I mean, look, didn't that happen with Michael Cohen? And Trump is still in office. You know, it's kind of incredible. So there is one final part of this, and it's Donald Trump, because Donald Trump also likes to incriminate himself. So I do want to show this quick clip. Take a look at that.
Rudy Giuliani, why do you think it's appropriate for your personal attorney to get involved in government business?
Well, you'd have to ask Rudy. I will tell you this, that Rudy's looking to also find out where the phony witch hunt started, how it started. You had a Russian witch hunt that turned out to be 2.5 years of phony nonsense. And Rudy Giuliani's a great lawyer. He was a great mayor. He's highly respected. I've watched the passion that he's had on television over the last few days. I think it's incredible the way he's done. And Rudy's got every right to go and find out where that started. And other people are looking at that too. Where did it start? The enablers. Where did it all come from? It was out of thin air. And I think he's got a very strong right to do it. He's a good lawyer. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Okay, two important things out of there. Number one, no. A personal attorney doing diplomacy for the United States of America makes no sense. That's not how diplomacy is done. He's not part of the United States government. That's madness. Second of all, for that attorney to then go and not only do diplomacy, but do illegal diplomacy where he says, give us dirt on our political opponent in exchange for promises from the American government. Unheard of, but crazy. But actually the most relevant part was what he said in the beginning. You'd have to ask Rudy. That's the kind of thing he says when he's about to throw you under the bus. I mean, it wasn't me. I mean, Rudy's a great lawyer. Why don't you ask him? Tick, 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 tick. tick, 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 tick. Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.